In today's video, I'll provide you with 15 verbs which are very useful in academic contexts. These verbs are not very common and they are not used in everyday conversations or in everyday writing. But you can find them so helpful if you are writing something formal, or if you are trying to provide a formal speech, or even if you are trying to present an academic paper. All the verbs I'll be giving you today have that formal appeal. So let's get started. The first verb is the verb illustrate. Illustrate, and the spelling of that is illustrate. Illustrate is a verb which means show. So as you can see, the synonym or the other verb with the same meaning is way more common. People keep saying show all the time, but very few people use the verb illustrate because this is an advanced word that's more common in formal or academic contexts. Let me give you an example to highlight the usage of this verb. You can say, the table illustrates the results of the test. The table illustrates the results of the test. This means that the table you're looking at shows the results of the test. The second verb is the verb analyze. Analyze, and the spelling of that is A-N-A-L-Y-S-E. The meaning of that verb is to examine something, is to check it carefully. So if you analyze something, this means that you examine it thoroughly. Let me give you an example. The research will analyze the reading habits of students. Again, the research will analyze the reading habits of students, which means that the research examines or analyzes the students' reading habits. The third verb is also a synonym to analyze, and it's the verb inspect. Inspect. The spelling of that is I-N-S-P-E-C-T. Let me give you an example. This paper will inspect the effect of peer pressure. Again, this paper will inspect, which means will examine, the effects of peer pressure. Right, so we have talked about 3 verbs out of the 15 verbs so far. These are analyze and inspect, which have the same meaning, examine. And we also talked about the verb illustrate, which means to show. Let's move on to the next 3 verbs. We have the verb consider. Consider, which is spelled C-O-N-S-I-D-E-R. This verb means to reflect on something. To reflect on something, or to refer to something. Example: the study considers key factors affecting language learning. Again, the study considers key factors affecting language learning. So considers in this example means reflects on something or refers to it. Verb number 5 is provide. Provide. And this verb means to offer. To offer something. Provide is spelled P-R-O-V-I-D-E. Let me give you an example. The article provides examples of effective strategies. Again, the article provides examples of effective strategies. So as you could see, provides in this sense, in this context, means to offer something. Verb number 6, investigate. To investigate something means to explore it. To investigate something means to explore it, to search into it, to search into it. And the spelling of investigate is INVESTIGATE. Let me give you an example. The team is going to investigate how learners use grammar rules. Again, the team will investigate or is going to investigate how learners use grammar rules. Let's have a sip of tea. Right, so we have covered 6 verbs out of the 15 as yet. Let's move on to the third chunk of 3 verbs. Verb number 7 is conduct. Conduct. If you conduct something in academic contexts, it means that you perform it, you carry it out. If you do it quite simply. So conduct is spelled CONDUCT. Again, CONDUCT. Example. They are planning to conduct interviews with 50 students. They are planning to conduct, which means to perform, to do, interviews with 50 students. Verb number 8 is assume. Assume. If you assume something, it means that you suppose it. You suppose it is correct, or it is right, or it is true. Assume is spelled ASSUME. Example. We will assume that all students have equal practice time. We will assume, which means we will suppose, that all students have equal practice time. Verb number 9 is demonstrate. Demonstrate. If you demonstrate something, it means that you show it clearly. You show it clearly. The spelling of demonstrate is DEMONSTRATE. Example. The results demonstrate a clear improvement in writing. Again, the results demonstrate a clear improvement in writing, which means that the results show that obviously or clearly. That's the third chunk. Let's move on to the fourth chunk of verbs. Verb number 10 is challenge. Challenge. Well, if you challenge something, this means that you are not sure it's correct and you are questioning its validity. So if you question something or if you challenge it, this means you're not sure, you're not certain it is correct and you're trying to prove it is wrong. Challenge is spelled CHALLENGE. Let's have an example to highlight it. The author, which is the writer, the author challenges the belief that exams measure ability. Again, the author challenges the belief that exams measure ability. Right. Verb number 11 is account for. Account for. And this also means to explain. So account for means explain or justify. If something accounts for something, it shows you the reason behind it. It shows you why this thing happens. Account is spelled ACCOUNT and the verb is account for. Example. The data account for the drop in class participation. The data account for, which means explains and show us why there is a drop in class participation. Excuse me. Verb number 12 is to classify something. If you classify something, it means that you group it under a certain category. You put it in a certain place and you say that this is the correct place for that thing. It belongs there. I'm going to put it with the other things similar to it. For example, human beings are classified, are grouped into males and females. Classify is spelled CLASSIFY. Example: learners are the people who are learning, they were asked to classify the texts by tone, to classify or to group each text into the place where it belongs, to classify the texts by tone. Right, so until this moment, or up to this moment, we have covered 4 chunks out of the 5 chunks we're coming today to demonstrate. Let's move on to the last chunk. Verb number 13 is prove. And I think that's a quite common verb. To prove something is to confirm that it's true, is to assert that it's true. The spelling of prove is P-R-O-V-E. P-R-O-V-E. Let's have an example to show the meaning. The study provides feedback on the student's performance. Again, I'm sorry, I gave you an example on provide. I'll give you an example on prove. We're talking about prove right now. The study proves that feedback boosts performance. Again, the study proves or confirms that feedback boosts performance. Right? Verb number 14 is the verb attempt. Attempt. The spelling of that is A-T-T-E-M-P-T. Attempt means try. So the common synonym for that verb is try, T-R-Y. Let me give you an example. The project attempts to link theory with teaching practice. Again, the project attempts to, which means tries to, link theory with teaching practice. It's trying to make a connection between theory and teaching practice. The last verb, which I'm going to conclude today's session with, is the verb establish. Establish. Establish is spelled E-S-T-A-B-L-I-S-H. Establish means to set something up, to set up something, which means to make something, to create something. For example, the research paper aims to establish a connection, aims to make a connection, aims to set up a connection between praise and motivation. Between praise and motivation. Now we have covered the 5 chunks of verbs that we had today, in which each chunk we had 3 verbs, so this makes up a total of 15 verbs. Make sure that you use them in your writing, being formal writing or academic writing, and they are supposed to improve or enhance your style big time. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in our next session. Enjoy the rest of your day all, and goodbye for now.